SpaceX versus Blue Origin versus Virgin Galactic. In this time of technology and innovation, we're witnessing a resurgence of interest towards outer space and the wonders that lay beyond our planet in a new age space race. Backed by billionaires and their respective aerospace companies with dreams of interstellar spaceflight, we've gone far from that one small step for man, as humanity goes farther than ever before. These three companies, SpaceX, Blue Origin, and Virgin Galactic, are among those thriving in today's private space industry, with a rivalry equal to that of the billionaires behind them. In this video, we're taking a look at SpaceX versus Blue Origin versus Virgin Galactic. Before we jump to it, don't forget to click the like button, share, subscribe, and press the notification bell for more updates. The beginning of the rivalry. British entrepreneur Sir Richard Branson went into space aboard his VSS Unity Spaceship 2 spaceplane, making the Virgin Galactic founder the first person to reach space in a rocket built by his own company. 9 days later, Amazon's multi-billionaire founder Jeff Bezos flew on a capsule to space using his space company Blue Origin's 59-foot New Shepard rocket, making him the second billionaire to reach the edge of space. Another billionaire business magnate who has established quite a huge chunk of the space business pie has been Elon Musk, backing his own space transportation and technology company, SpaceX, which he founded in 2002. With all the action happening outside the Earth's atmosphere and all that space to play around in, it seems that Earth's billionaires have found a new playground as they compete against each other, ushering a new era of private space travel. While Bezos and Branson may have claimed recent wins with their successful attempts at reaching outer space, Elon Musk's SpaceX has been quite busy in the last few years. It's been the buzziest name in private space exploration, with a number of successful manned space flights and plenty of private contracts that push the space company to the head of the line. Aside from ferrying astronauts and cargo onto the International Space Station, SpaceX is also at the forefront of elevating mankind to interplanetary capabilities, with its intent at reaching Mars in the next few years. Guided by Elon Musk's aspirational goal of creating a colony on the Red Planet that can be an alternative home for humankind in the future to come, SpaceX and NASA are adamant at an uncrewed mission by 2024. With great confidence that we can send actual people onto our neighboring planet by 2026. Elon Musk may not be the first private billionaire who's been to space, but he may just well be the first to step on Mars. Space tourism. The other super-rich entrepreneurs with their own grand visions for humanity's future beyond Earth's atmosphere seem to have found a new rivalry towards achieving dominance in an emerging industry that is quickly becoming a reality. Both Virgin Galactic and Blue Origin are pushing forward with their immediate goal of offering space joyrides for millionaires, with both these companies successfully demonstrating their capabilities for space tourism. Branson and Bezos both reached outer space with their respective commercial spaceflight companies, and both also expect to fly private-paying passengers to space as early as next year. And while this out-of-this-world luxury experience may just be attainable by those who can afford it, there's already some debate as to which among the recent successful launches qualify as a spaceflight. Branson's Virgin Galactic flies above 80 kilometers or 262,000 feet, the altitude which the US recognizes as the boundary of space. Virgin Galactic's Unity Spaceship 2 doesn't take off vertically from a landing pad. Instead, the spaceplane is first carried to an altitude of about 14 kilometers or under 50,000 feet on board a jet-powered carrier aircraft before being released, which triggers its rocket engines to climb the rest of the way onto its target altitude. Meanwhile, Bezos' Blue Origin has the capability of flying above 100 kilometers, or about 328,000 feet, commonly known as the Kármán line. The slight difference between the achievable altitude for the two and the exact boundary of space recognized by these companies before being marked as a spaceflight experience has become a point of contention. One that Blue Origin managed to take a dig at Virgin Galactic by saying that the New Shepard rocket has been designed to fly above the Kármán line, so none of our astronauts have an asterisk next to their name. There are communities from scientists and astrophysicists who contend that there really is no real international agreement with regards to the boundaries of space, and that 80 kilometers is in fact still a clear distinction between Earth's atmosphere and what lies beyond. Billionaires in space. Basing from the successful launches which the whole world witnessed, both the maverick British billionaire and the richest man on the planet attained zero gravity, with views of our curved planet's horizon being well worth the cost of the whole trip. It is, however, important to note that in the budding rivalry, particularly between Blue Origin and Virgin Galactic, Branson may have taken the first strategic move, when Branson and his team achieved a flight first, despite the fact that it was Jeff Bezos who was first to announce the schedule of his mission. Branson moved up his own mission, so they could claim first flight bragging rights, making his company the world's first commercial spaceline. And while the two companies compete in the realm of suborbital tourism, SpaceX has actually proved its capabilities to go orbital. Orbital missions reach an altitude of over 400 kilometers or 1.3 million feet from the Earth's surface, with SpaceX and its Falcon 9 rocket reaching the International Space Station. Spaceflight is now a commercial reality. When it comes to space tourism, however, there's plenty of factors that key into who might lead this budding industry, the biggest of which being estimated costs. Virgin Galactic has a lower altitude target and gets there with an assist from a carrier, while SpaceX and Blue Origin's launch system involves launching a powerful rocket and larger capsules from the ground. SpaceX's Crew Dragon capsule won't be the only option for private passengers heading to the ISS in the coming years as well, with other private aeronautic companies also developing their own systems to join in the space race. The idea of flying private individuals who are willing to spend the big bucks on a really expensive space ride isn't actually that uncommon, with US-based private ventures having flown about 7 tourists on board a Russian spacecraft in the last 2 decades. These private clients spent over a week on board the ISS, after paying a hefty price of $20 million per person. Pricing for space tourism is expected to drop significantly, providing a more attainable opportunity for more people to experience it. Virgin Galactic has already had about 600 reservations for tickets on future suborbital flights, with prices for tickets being sold at around $200,000 to $250,000 each. With these space flights quickly becoming a reality for private citizens, the idea of jetting on a rocket-powered spacecraft, leaving the planet as you attain incredible altitudes, accelerating to faster than 3 times the speed of sound, and floating around a luxurious cabin for several minutes as you gaze outside and witness Earth and space like no other can, before gliding back into Earth's atmosphere and safely landing onto the ground. The idea may have been born out of a science fiction movie, but is now a commercial reality our society can enjoy. What do you think about SpaceX versus Blue Origin versus Virgin Galactic? We'd love to hear what you think about them by commenting below. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and ring the notification bell for more.